Isn't like the whole idea of posting someone is that they remain at their post throughout the entire event? I
I
mean,
guess
isn't
how it
it?
works.
It's not like, man, it's so hot here. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get some Mickey D's. Anyone want
How is
some
it that
nugs?
people that had no guns were more vigilant than the people that had guns? Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. This is episode 178. I'm going to start it off like I did last week.
Mm,
Have you guys heard anything in the news lately? Anything
it's been
going
crazy
on
dead. Yeah,
that's
nothing going
different?
on.
I live under a
Anything?
rock.
I don't know.
You live under a rock.
Anything with the president,
You live in
maybe?
Iraq? What?
I rock.
Oh,
You do, Rock.
It's also a rock. Similar.
Iraq.
That's good when there's all those tornadoes. It's good to be under a rock,
It
right?
is good to be under a rock.
Safe.
We have to bring
Depending.
money in,
The
Tom.
rocks can be thrown and picked up, so maybe not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay, so I'll spoil it. This week, the week of well, it's July 23rd, and about 3 days ago, we found out that the President of the United States is backing out of the race and giving it to or endorsing possibly the worst candidate I could imagine, Ms. Kamala Harris. I don't have anything personal against her. I do, however, not like her for president. Um, and on that, well, we'll talk about it later. But so again, like last week, where were you when you heard this?
Oh, me?
Yeah, sure.
So I was on vacation in on the Delaware coast, not too far from where Biden was. I heard he was in church when this went down, actually, that Saturday, this 13th afternoon. But I was in the kitchen at our beach house, and my sister and my nephew were downstairs,
That they were nuts
and
about it.
they came running upstairs. And all I remember, I was like moving stuff around, and they were like, "Turn on the TV, turn on the TV." And I was just like, something really bad's happened. You get that feeling.
Mm.
And so yeah, we all watched it, but we didn't, we're on vacation, so we didn't like keep it on forever. I mean, at a certain point, I just compare everything to 9/11. Like I don't need to see like it started turning into that episode of SNL when Gumby when Buckwheat gets shot. Do you guys remember that
Yeah,
episode?
yeah.
Where
No.
it's like they just keep interrupting and showing it again and again. So after a while, I kind of got it. And I've kind of gotten to the point now when these things happen, I just give it some time because everything at the beginning is like hysterical and you just don't know. So you got to give it like, I mean, we're what, 10 days out? There's still can't find a freaking timeline to save my life on this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, really brings the family together. Nothing like assassination attempt, but
I think Zeus was
Oh, I was
asking.
talking about
Yeah,
Biden.
he was asking me about when Biden
oh,
backed out.
Biden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where were you that time?
Yeah, what was I doing with Biden?
I think the real question is where was Biden when he backed out?
Yeah, when did that go down? It went down Sunday, right? 2 days
Yeah.
ago? I don't know, man.
I'm
I
wondering if
mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, the whole thing is anything coming out from this administration, it's not news. It's all choreographed. It's all planned. There's no guesswork involved. You can see where it's going a mile away. I mean,
But Biden, he was the only one that was not dancing in line with the rest of the Rockettes.
but as soon as it got to like
He's like, no,
40%,
I'm not backing out. I'm in this until the end.
it's the money. And as soon as I saw that, I mean, it was something crazy, like 40% of congressional Democrats were calling for him to go. That was it. You can't stay with that. And again, there was never going to be another debate. He was definitely going to lose. I think they're definitely going to lose with Kamala, whatever.
Kumquat.
Um, yeah, I think they're definitely going to lose with her too, but we're going to have to endure this like dog and pony show dance for the next few weeks until they realize that it's Kamala Harris, like who we already know. I love how they have to like reintroduce her. Like we already know who she is. She's a total train wreck disaster who has no business being anywhere within 10 miles of the Oval Office. So we'll see. But the
And
whole media is in lockstep.
if you have to reintroduce her the as whoever she is right now, it's kind of like solidifies the point of she's like literally done nothing in the
Yeah.
past 3 years.
I mean, I think I said something on the text thread as a joke, but she's just another meat suit, for the party to put forward. I mean,
Another meat suit.
he wasn't running anything, and she's not going to be running anything. So it's just a figurehead. And the Democrat Party is in a position where they don't want Kamala Harris, but she's the one that has the rights to the money. It's going to be a lot easier because at least her name was on the ticket in the primaries with any legal challenges, which I'm sure there's going to be, to kind of push her through. If it was just someone else, they rely so much on the DEI stuff. There's no way they were going to win that argument just within their own party. People would freak out if they threw
So
Whitey
I've heard
McWhite boy Gavin Newsom in front of her. I mean, they would lose their minds. So,
RFK.
yeah, I mean, it really should be RFK, uh, but they don't want to open primary. Again, it's like I am so over being lectured to by the party about small d democracy. I mean, seriously? I mean, they just disenfranchised almost 15 million of their own voters. They wouldn't allow any kind of vigorous primary to begin with. They're coronating. I mean, they haven't even had a convention yet, and they're like, "Oh, it's Camilla." These people aren't interested in democracy, man. I mean, this is like Mao Zedong. This is like the Soviet Union. It's like Brezhnev. They're just like picking who they want.
Yes, Desiree.
I have a question. Is it Kamala or Kamala?
I don't know. I feel like I'm messing it up, but I just don't care enough to know.
I don't know. I'm just asking because I don't know either.
I don't know. I think it's Kamala. Kamala.
So here's the thing that I heard today, that Trump is not going to debate her.
I heard the opposite.
I mean, it's what I heard.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
makes
who knows?
sense.
Yeah.
Because he goes up there and then suddenly they're going to pull all kinds of comments that he'll make because he doesn't think a lot when he talks. I'm sure it'll be him beating up on a black or Asian woman, whichever she claims at the time.
She's not African American. She's Jamaican and Indian.
That's really gonna.
She kind
I'm
of,
just being precise.
Yeah.
because she's from Jamaica, right?
Correct.
But that's the Americans.
But she's not African.
Well,
Yeah, but she's black.
she's got some African in her, right? She's like half.
She's black.
She's
We,
half.
we don't we don't
Yeah.
have to act like we can't say the word black.
Yeah,
Like, we
she's
can
black.
say it.
No,
She's
but what
black.
I'm saying is I'm not the one that makes all these rules. I'm just trying to be precise.
I'm not
try to
making the
keep
rules
up.
either. I'm just saying
No, Desiree, you're right. I agree with you
Islanders,
100%.
the specifically Dominican Republic, Jamaica, whatever. They are not African. They are black people. Like I am a white person. You are a black person.
Like
You are a brown person.
Elon Musk is African American. Charlize Theron is African American.
Yeah, because South Africa is predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean,
but yeah, I feel like if he does, I mean, it could be another shit show like the last debate.
I'd love to see it. I mean, I think he's
personally, I would love for them to if RFK got up on that stage, things would change drastically because he actually talks about the issues, doesn't waver and throw names, I honestly, considering how I feel that this election is going to turn out, I think I'm going RFK all the way, just because that way I can maintain my integrity. I'm going to stick with the guy that I like.
I mean, in 2 weeks, again, I don't mind marking this. In 2 weeks, the Democrat Party and the media are going to be freaking out and trying to throw Kamala Harris overboard because As soon as she really gets in front of people and starts talking again,
Yeah.
it's a train wreck. I mean, it's such a
Yeah, have
train
you
wreck.
heard of the shit that she says?
You got to look forward to see what's
Unburdened by what has not happened. I mean,
Unburdened.
Are you
unburdened.
Gandhi?
What is it?
Are you
Unburdened
like
by the future
No.
because of what's behind you.
she's
Unburdened by what has been.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
unburdened by
Don't know what
intelligence.
that means.
Yeah, Candy says that it's looking to the future and not knowing about the future, but I don't think that's what it is.
Wait, say it again?
It's
It's
Unburdened by what has been.
I'm unburdened by what has been.
Right.
no, but
Okay,
there's a
that's
first part.
interesting.
There's a first part to it. It's like
I'm gonna
looking
That's interesting.
I think
looking to the
first half of
future,
it, too.
unburdened by what has been. I don't know.
So she just denounced slavery. Or
Look,
she just basically with that comment she said
no,
it's
I
not
think it's a
important.
look to the future kind of.
here's
It's
my here's my real problem with
like overcoming.
overcoming. So here's my real problem with her. Like totally 100% legit. Like this is my deal with Kamala Harris. She lied to my face for years. She was one of the ones in the chorus of like, man, when you guys aren't looking, this dude, he is doing gymnastics. He is on the parallel on uneven bars. He's doing jujitsu. I mean, this guy's the smartest dude. He's winning in chess games all the time. Like she was the one, like 2 weeks ago, she was saying that. I'm not, you don't even have
No,
to go back. So
the day before he dropped out, she was
she,
still saying it.
so she's lying. She's complicit. I mean, she should have told us, it's her job as the vice president to invoke the 25th Amendment if necessary, because above party, above politics, above all that is the country supposed to come first. And she has knowingly let someone who has like legit dementia and has serious medical problems remain in office when she is the point person who's supposed to point it out to everybody. And she's been lying to everyone. So she can go like suck it. Like I mean, people that think that she is a great person
I
and
can.
want to vote for her, I'm just like, you're completely insane. Like I just don't understand anyone that would
It's
want to vote for her.
what
I
she
mean,
says is what can be unburdened by what has been.
yeah,
What
it
the
doesn't.
fuck does that mean?
She's a word. It means whatever you want it to mean. But what I'm saying is, she is not just some innocent person that fell into this role and is now like running with the ball. She is not just complicit in it. She is one of the architects and the main people that has pulled this shit over everyone for the last 3 years.
He's not an architect of anything.
But she's one of the main people that have been pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. She
Yeah,
meets with
she's
the
going
guy
along.
every other
She's not
day.
an architect of anything.
I mean, next to Jill, she sees him more than anyone else.
Oh, Jill, she's such a disappointment. I used
Yeah,
to
and
like.
where's Joe Biden? Like, why aren't we seeing her on the cover of Vogue now?
She's hanging out
How
with the
come
13 Secret Service people that she got when Trump got
She
30.
lied. She's a liar.
how come Bo Jiden hasn't like said anything with his mouth to the people of the
Has he
country?
done a
They're not drugging them anymore,
No,
probably.
it's
There's no
Sunday.
need to.
It is
Like
very.
I feel like this announcement was probably not meant for letterhead.
I'd like
Yeah,
to know what the
somebody
deal
else-
was that got him
Somebody
to.
else typed it. He doesn't do his own Twitter, obviously. Somebody else typed that in there.
And also, just from and I'm sorry, Des, I'm just looking at this from a guy standpoint, like some sort, like just guy land. How weak, how weak is it to put out a tweet that you're not gonna
Right.
seek office?
It's
I mean,
literally the
there's, I mean,
presidential.
Hold on,
version
so this was
of
a
breaking
tweet?
up with a
This
girl
is a
through a
tweet?
text.
he tweeted it. He tweeted it. He tweeted it out.
Firing
this-
somebody over the phone.
I mean, it's such a disaster. I mean, you look at someone who's president, they're supposed to be a leader, right? And I know, like Zeus has said before, he wants someone that, his kids can look up to, and I get all that. And that would be great if that's the case. But I at least expect someone to have some semblance of like honor and like self-respect. I mean,
Well,
if
we
I'm
don't
dealing
know.
with a client that's like a little bit, you know, on the having some issues, I don't tweet them. I don't email them. I either show up at their house or I call him on the phone like a man. Like, and I say stuff. I don't tweet it. I mean, when I saw that it was a tweet, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I would expect from Joe
Okay,
Biden.
but to
Exactly.
play devil's advocate, we don't know what state he's in at this point.
It doesn't matter. If he's in that bad a state, he should have resigned a year ago.
Well,
Yeah.
but in answer to what you're saying, maybe the tweet was the best we were going to get.
I'm just saying, I love seeing them, and I say them, the party. I love seeing them take it right in the chin in the last few weeks because
Like,
they totally own this. They totally deserve it. They did it to themselves. They made their bed, and now they're lying in it. Fuck them. Like, I love seeing the party just have to eat all this crow. I love it.
Kamala made her announcement. You're next, Des.
Okay.
But Biden was on the phone and he sounded great because he dialed in on the phone to Kamala's press conference, remember?
Yeah.
Sounded fine. Right? So it's not that he couldn't talk or anything.
If that was him, yeah. I mean, again, anyway, I'm sorry, Des.
So since the tweet, no one has seen him.
But Tom
No,
said that
correct?
today. He was getting out of the limo and getting onto Air Force One today.
Where was the limo coming from?
I don't know, his house or something. He was at the beach, right?
Yeah, he was at Rehoboth. Joe and I were vacationing on the Delaware Shore together last week.
I didn't know you guys were like that.
Yeah, man.
But they kind of, and like the
Weird.
reporters were shouting questions and he just sort of, you know how he does that sort of smile and keeps walking.
And what's this he's been doing lately with his hands? Have you ever seen like he walks with his
Frankenstein.
hands sticking out?
I don't know.
Here's the thing, man. It's like our society is so geared up for conspiracy theories and stuff. And talking about like Occam's razor. I mean, it makes more. I was saying this to Zeus earlier. It makes more sense that there's something really effed up going on. That answers a lot more questions
That's what
than
happens
if
when
you
they
just
lied to us like nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's so messed up. I mean, from the assassination attempt to what's going on. I mean, I'm thinking when I heard that he dropped out, and this was not like something I thought about. This was just my first impression. I was like, they failed on the assassination attempt, and that was Joe's last hurrah. So now he's got to go. Like that was what I thought because I'm like,
I don't think that's.
I'm just saying that was what I thought, and they haven't said anything to assuage me from that. They haven't given me any other evidence. I mean, if they
do think that they were
this did not just happen.
I do think that they were negligent with the crew that they had protecting Trump. That I can fully get behind. Because that was just a shit show. I could have planned the protection of the president better than those fucking buffoons. You know, I'd had somebody at the top of the building that was a good perch to shoot the president from.
There's a million things wrong with what happened.
Yeah,
it's not just
which we'll
one
get to
thing.
in a little bit.
Yeah,
More on it.
And I know you guys talked about it some last week as well.
Yeah, we'll get it up soon.
Look,
But
just
back
declare
to Bo Biden and his resignation.
Just-
so is it official? I mean, is that official? Is a tweet official?
he's not resigning. He's just
I mean,
he's dropping out of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that official? Like,
I would say it is.
Yeah, I don't know what the mechanism is, Desiree.
Challenges.
I mean, do you just have to say it, or do you have to file something?
or do you have to make an official statement with your mouth and your words?
I don't know.
You know what? I don't think it really matters. I think at this point, the Pandora's box is open and they're going to move forward with whatever they're doing.
So then my next question is,
he can be forced to be president.
what kind of legalities is it to then just assume Kamala
A lot. There's going to be a lot
into the nominee?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel
everybody
like
seems to be endorsing her.
Well, only Democrats.
it's a minefield. It's a legal minefield.
Does she have a right to all the money, and does she have a right to the delegates?
Does she even have a right to accept the nomination? Because
no one's voted for
her.
I
understand. From what I understand, they have the Democrats hold the DNC, the convention, and that's how they.
Yeah, so I think that'll be the official is at the DNC convention when they announce their.
It's going to be after the 19th. Yeah, August 18th or 19th when they when they choose
Well, and I will say that I
to
think
take it.
our other host, because I don't want to use his name because of why he's not on tonight, but our other host seemed to think that it was going to be Michelle coming out of the woodwork, and I would say that's a non-issue at this point.
Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a step back. Like I said, I was under the impression that the Democrats have this system where they go out and they go to different, what's it called? Not the
Primaries.
DNC, primaries. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And that's how
And they go to the
they elect
convention.
their thingy or their nominee. And so if there was no primary situation,
So the way the primary,
how does that?
yeah,
Well,
the way that,
here's a curious thought. I'm sorry, Mike.
yeah, no, that's cool.
What if between now and the nomination he passes?
Then she would become president.
Right. Just a predictive
And Mike
thought.
Johnson would be vice president. Speaker
Just
of the
Right.
House.
let's throw that out there. Hope we're not right. I don't want anybody dying, but
And
it
so
wouldn't surprise me at this point.
In that event, then she would just be the incumbent.
Right.
Correct, which would politically be a stronger position. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing that's very curious. Again, if I take off my brain that thinks things through properly and put on my party hat and think, I think if I was a member of the party or the hierarchy of the party, I would want to get Joe out of there to give Kamala the patina of being president before November 5th, because if she does the job for a little while, people are going to be like, oh, okay, let's just keep it. She's doing a good job. I mean, I don't understand politically why they don't get rid of Joe, to be honest with you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would make more sense to just have him resign and then she would take it, rather than having this whole like.
Yeah, I hope I'm
Because
not right.
I just have a feeling that this might throw some congressional looking into about how is that even right? Like, is this just a new way of getting somebody in that?
Well, now this has happened before. I want to say it was Herbert Hoover, Harry Truman, and Calvin Coolidge all bowed out as incumbents.
Well, LBJ did. I don't know beyond that. I mean, LBJ was the one that's like, I will not accept I will not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party. He did that, I think, at the convention or right near the convention in 68.
So then did his vice president take the nomination?
No, they ended
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This seems like an inside job.
This is totally an inside job. 100% inside job. There are no voters. No voters have been bothered in the making of this candidacy.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't need voters anymore. Like, voters just complicate things. I think the party should just pick who they want, and that's it. That's for democracy. That's to protect democracy. I'm telling the primary system, the way it's set up with both the Democrats and Republicans, just for our viewer out there, we have these primaries. They're all set up differently, 50 of them throughout the whole United States. They all occur at different times during primary season. Everyone comes out, they vote for who they want. Some of them have caucuses, some of them are primaries,
Caucus,
whatever.
that's the word I was looking for earlier.
Yeah. So there are a certain number of delegates assigned a number for each state, depending on population, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when some states, like I'm trying to remember which one, I think Nevada, you get a number of delegates that you win in the primary, like percentage wise, so you can split the delegates. But most states, I think like 48 of them, it's winner take all. You get all the delegates. Now, when Joe Biden wins Iowa, and he gets all of the Democrat delegates from Iowa, these aren't just like some random schmoes. They're people that he picks the delegates, meaning the party picks them, the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the person running, whoever. So these are all people like Joe Biden's mechanic, his dentist, his next door neighbor, the guy that owes him $100. Like, he picks all his friends from Iowa to be his delegates. So they're his. So when they go to the convention, they are his. He owns them. Basically, he earned them. He won them. They're his. And they pick people that are loyal to them so that they can't be contested at the convention. So now what the party has done is said, hey, look,
You-
we're the party. Yeah.
That if you die, obviously somebody else can get the delegates, or if
It
you're
would be
incapacitated, which I guess is what they're trying to. Although he didn't give a reason as to why he withdrew.
So
yeah,
here's the
you
list
can
of
have an
presidents.
open convention. You can have an open convention. But the idea, just to wrap this point up, is these delegates that Biden and Harris or the Biden ticket earned through the Democrat
Yeah,
primary,
because it's not
they're all
the
loyal to
devil.
him. So the party is saying to these delegates, we want Kamala to be the head of the ticket. There's nothing saying these delegates have to do that. Like
Right.
they can't pick Biden because he's out. So if they're going to have the horse heads showing up in their bed, they're going to be like, "Hey, Delegate Michael, if you want little Johnny to get into that college, probably want to pick Kamala." Like they're getting those phone calls now.
Mm.
But ideally, they could go completely in another direction and not pick Kamala.
Yeah,
But that's
California
not
can
going to
say our
happen.
58 delegates, we choose Gavin
Right.
But
Newsom.
each individual one can choose. So they don't have to vote the same if it's an open convention.
So
And
here's
yeah,
the list of presidents that were incumbents that bowed out. Theodore Roosevelt, but that was because he was going for a fourth term, and they, I think, probably
fifth term, probably. Yeah.
Coolidge, Harry Truman, and Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah. I don't know much about.
And LBJ, he got it because of he got the presidency because of Kennedy,
Well,
right?
well, no, he got the presidency because of Kennedy, and politically in '68 he was a hot potato. The Democrat Party and a lot of people didn't like him because we were in the throes of Vietnam and
Yeah.
they wanted to get rid of LBJ.
Had health issues, and Lady Bird didn't want him to run.
Yeah, that's true too.
What's her first name, Lady?
Lady Bird.
No, that was just
Lady
the name they used to have nice names for people.
Well, was her name Birdie?
I don't know.
I think it was Elizabeth, wasn't it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll find out.
Just asking.
If anyone's watching, please phone in to our 1-800 line and let us know.
Caller, you're on the air.
Caller, you're on the air. But I'm just saying, I love being preached to and lectured to about democracy, and they're like, I mean, they could have said, I mean, they could have the Democrat Party.
Oh, you know why they called her Lady Bird? Because her real name was Claudia Olta.
Wow, yeah, Lady Bird's good.
And Lady Bird has a nicer ring to it.
But I'm just saying, the party could have done a they keep calling this like a mini primary that doesn't even exist. They could have done like a snap election or something along those lines. Like, hey, August 5th, it's a Tuesday. I don't know that it's a Tuesday. Go to the polls.
Convention?
We're gonna no before the convention. They could have like
You
had
wanted the
people vote.
voters to vote.
Yeah, they could have had the vote, but they're totally edging them out. Now, look, if you look back in recent history, Clinton in 2016, they kicked Sanders to the curb, right? The party like cut him off at the knees so Hillary could go in. When
Bernie big time.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. They fucked Bernie big time.
They fucked Bernie big time, man. And then they pretty much they drew Biden. I mean, they went ahead and said, okay, we're gonna let South Carolina go first in the primary, instead of New Hampshire. I mean, they totally jacked up the whole process for Biden. And now they've done it again. The third election in a row, the party has stolen an election from their own voters. I'm not talking about in the general. I'm talking about in the primary. It's the third election in a row that the party has chosen the nominee, not the voters. And these are the people that lecture everyone about democracy.
Let me ask you this: Who do you think?
Ridiculous.
Who do you think got fucked over more in this cycle? RFK and Tulsi, or who was it you were just mentioning?
Bernie.
Bernie. I don't think.
Bernie got screwed big time because one, Bernie he was doing very well. And I don't know that he was beating Clinton. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he was doing a lot better than RFK Jr.
Yeah, but I would
was
say
at the
that
same time.
RFK was allowed the Secret Service coverage, and he was allowed to be in this race. he gets up on stage, it's going to change things.
I can't listen to him talk.
Yep.
His voice is not it for me. It's just no.
Yeah. I mean, that ship has sailed. I mean, they're
I
not.
get the voice thing, but that's hardly what we should be basing our political.
I understand that was rude as
That
fuck
would-
of me, but I'm just saying.
No,
That would
I
be-
get it. His voice is kind of annoying, but it's not what I would. I love the guy.
Not as annoying as Kamala. And he makes a lot more sense than Biden does. Yeah, I mean, and he's got integrity and he's not a dick. So, I mean, he's got that going for him.
And he's not a typical Democrat. He
He
Fights-
is, if you're from the
fights
90s.
What?
He is a typical Democrat if you're from the 90s.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But no, I mean, damn, it just sucks. It really sucks. Or Tulsi. Like, honestly, if Tulsi ran, I'd probably pick her over RFK because
They're
is
never gonna.
fire.
They're not gonna let her back in. She's
No.
too much of a free thinker. She's
Not
not.
this time, maybe next time. Who knows?
She didn't drink the
Not gonna be
Kool-Aid.
that
No,
old.
she's never gonna be a Democrat again.
No.
I mean, she's not. They don't want anything to do with her. She
Which
has too
sucks.
much.
She is a great candidate.
She's too much of a free thinker.
Yeah, it sucks. We probably lost two potentially great candidates based on just being forced out because they weren't.
The party
Going
is
to
not
Congress.
interested in good candidates. They're not interested in doing what's best for the people of America. They're interested in doing what's best for the Democrat Party. And that is it. That is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all of their decisions. So they had RFK, Tulsi, who's the other guy? Dean something.
Homer.
They kicked him out early on. They don't give him any oxygen to breathe. I mean, you look back at like the Republican primary, everyone made fun of it in the media. They had like 16 dudes and ladies running back in 2016, and everyone's like, man, Republican Party. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's so horrible giving people all these choices. Like, we need to like tell them who they need to vote for. I mean, in the same media that's now like it's Kamala Harris or you're fired. Like that's, it's like Glengarry Glen Ross. You can either do this or that's it. Like this is your candidate, love it, leave it. And everyone, the other thing that's amazing to me, they're all on board, man. Like you watch the news and all these people are like, oh man, she's fantastic. You hear her speak. It's absolutely amazing. Joe Biden's George Washington. Kamala Harris is, is the second coming of Jesus. Like she's so amazing.
Not except for one person,
Who's that?
Obama.
Yeah, Obama hasn't said anything.
He didn't endorse it.
Yeah.
What I wanted to get to earlier when Zeus was bringing up Michelle, she's still out there as a dark horse.
I don't think she wants it, not based on my knowledge, but just from what I've heard. But yeah, like I said before, I think in 2 weeks, if we do another episode on this in 2 weeks, it's going to be like Kamala's going to be like, man, how do we get this gum off our shoe? That's what the Democrat Party is going to, because it's going to take 1, 2, or 3 times. I mean, at least Biden, and I didn't say this, someone else said this. At least Biden has the excuse of like having dementia. Like she doesn't have that excuse. She's like 59. But she makes about as much sense as he does when she talks. So
Right.
I'm like, I want a debate. I want her to be talking as much as humanly possible. I think Kamala Harris should be on the news every day talking about as much as she possibly can because that's a disaster. She's a disaster, man. She's never won a delegate. She got out of the race before Iowa in 2020. No one seems to remember that.
When she was saying, we went to the border. And
Yeah.
then the reporter was like, you haven't gone to the border.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Europe either.
Yeah, I didn't go to Europe.
Yeah.
What's your point? What's your point?
It's like,
Look.
no, you didn't.
The point is you're the border czar.
I honestly don't think in the Democrat Party, I'm interested to see who they pick for her vice president because it's going to be someone that is disposable. Like, it's such a shit show. It's just going to be like, it's going to ruin. No one wants this.
It's going to be Pete Beetlejuice.
It's going to be so ugly. Yeah, juice. Was it booty juice? What, Buttigieg? Something?
British.
But I'm just saying, it's such a train wreck. I mean, right now we're only like 24 hours, 48 hours out, so everyone's still cheery and happy and they're cheering about it and the Kamala's our
Oh,
girl and all this. I'm
you
telling
know,
you, this is gonna age like bad something. I mean, it's just not gonna age well, man. In a week or two, it's gonna be like Kamala Harris.
here's my thing.
They're gonna be talking about Michelle. They're gonna be talking about anyone.
I didn't
Hillary.
want I didn't want Biden as president again, but this didn't make me feel good. There's a foreboding, ominous dark cloud over this whole thing.
I
Just
think it's great.
Switcheroo? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, I just it I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's good that he's not there, but what does that open up? Like Newsom?
Look, the party has itself to thank for all this. They've made their bed. Now they get to lie in it. Like I have no sympathy at all. They totally created it. There are processes in place in our system to avoid this exact situation. And they just plowed through them at 150 miles an hour because they just wanted their guy. They wanted their puppet. It's been working for them for 3.5 years. Anyone that thinks that this guy's calling the shots, I mean, whatever.
You know what's scary? With everything that happened, the last poll that came out from Fox, did you see it?
No.
It was like, I forget what the exact number, it was like 1 point there, it was like 49-48 Trump.
Wow.
Everything that's, and well, this was taken before the shooting, but I think it was after the debate. 49-48.
That close still.
Yes. Can you believe that?
It is amazing.
They don't have a chance to win.
I mean, they do have a chance. I mean,
With the
again,
rigging that they're going to do.
it's the Coca-Cola thing, man. I mean, like I said, Coca-Cola sells ad or has ads because they work. The party press in our country, the Pravda press, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, all the three-letter networks, they they are not they're not journalists. They're not reporting the news. They're not telling you, and again, this is someone else that said this. This is not, they're not telling you the story. They're telling you a story. And they all agree with each other about everything. So it's like they have totally created this. Um, their hand sucks. And I think they're going to lose in a historic way. And anyone
Wow.
associated with it is their careers are going to be over.
You remember our episode on the red puddle?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was supposed to be the red wave.
And I'm not saying it's red, but what I'm saying, when to your point though, Tom, when you're saying it's still 49-48, it's because you have a fire hose of propaganda spewing out into our fellow citizens'
not gonna go
ears
away.
every day. And that's not going to go away. And there's people out there, God bless them, that don't pay a lot of attention to stuff. They just hear little, and they're like, Trump's Hitler and all, and they don't know. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know what lawfare is. They have no idea what's going on. They just know what they're told. And there's enough. I mean, you're talking about 99% of the media in this country is like Biden is a saint, Trump is Hitler, blah blah blah. There's enough people out there that are just going to believe it. They're not going to dig even in a micron deep and think for themselves.
Say what we say when we say it.
Yeah. They're not interested in thinking. They're not interested in thinking about it. A lot of people aren't. And again, God bless them. I wish I didn't. I would love not to pay any attention to politics. I really would. I'd love to just do whatever. If I could trust politicians, if I could trust them to just like run shit, that would be the best day of my life. I would love that. That would be fantastic. I don't want to pay any
Mike, we
attention
can
to this.
still we can still try for Wilkes Allen 2024.
I know. I'm just saying it
Trump said the
disgusts
same
me.
thing. Trump was like, I don't want to be here.
I was when he said that, I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, that's the way I feel.
It's
I don't
true.
want to be here.
We don't want to be obsessed with this stuff.
Yeah,
I want to do another top. You know what? Have we ever done a top 10 album? I know we did the soundtracks.
Yes, we
I
have.
know. Did we really? Top
You
10
did
albums?
2 weeks ago, didn't you? What was the one or was that movie? I thought
We
you
did
did another
movies.
music thing like 2 weeks ago.
No, we
We
okay, but
did
that
Impact.
was ones that had an impact, but I still think we have not done top 10 albums.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe we did? Okay, my
What was
bad.
that one where I was holding up all the my
Yeah,
finals?
yeah, that's right.
Okay, sorry. Okay, gotcha.
Thanks for paying attention to the show, Mike.
See, I don't know, man. I'm just talking. I'm just saying stuff here.
So let's I think
You should have got them all jazzed up to do another top 10 albums next week.
psych.
He's like, man, I got all my list together.
Yeah, man.
It sounds so familiar.
Funny. Um
And then just hit play on the previous.
Yeah, just hit play. Yeah.
So I mean so I'm feeling like a big part of their possibility of winning is who she picks as a vice president candidate. I have the feeling it's going to be some DEI compatible.
She's already DEI compatible.
Yeah. Most people are saying it's going to be like a white male kind of counterbalance, like Obama picked Biden.
Perhaps that makes sense. I don't see anything making it possible for her to win. I hope she debates. Not that Trump is proven to be great in the debates this past one, but I think he'll bury her. You know,
I bet she picks another black female.
Wow.
Who though? DeSantis? No.
I don't know, but I'm just saying her fucking cousin. I don't know.
I saw something about somebody that they were saying might that she might pick.
The
Elizabeth Warren.
Hero.
No.
Kelly, the astronaut.
Mark Kelly.
The astronaut,
From Arizona.
yeah. And Pennsylvania.
But again, look, here's the thing though. And again, I'm saying this in trying to be as fair as I can. But if you're looking at the party, like what besides demagoguing and besides name calling Trump, like take those two things off the table. Can't call him Hitler, and you're not going to talk about how it's the end of democracy if he wins. Take those two things off. What in the hell can they say? What are they running on? I mean, what are they bringing to the table?
He's
I mean,
racist.
is it like, man, look at all the great things we've been doing the last 3. You want more of what we've been doing? You got to vote for us because this is fantastic. Like, look how great everything is. Like, they have nothing legit to run on. And I mean, they have rhetoric, but as far as like people that walk around and live and breathe oxygen every day in the world, they don't have. I mean, what are they saying?
They say
What are
that
they
they
bringing
have.
to the table?
They say that they have recovered the best economy
It's great. I
ever.
know.
Basically,
Fantastic.
they have enacted the strictest policies on climate control.
Yeah.
They
great.
enacted the first like worth the shit gun control situation law
Stopped
thing.
all those mass shootings cold.
Cold.
So here's who
That's what they say.
who's there. Here's the top runners.
None of
One
which have
is
affected
Kelly.
the amount of money I have to spend at the pump or the grocery
Right.
store.
They changed the weather.
Bertha is thirsty, and Bertha's gas is almost $4 a gallon. So I don't appreciate that.
Wow. Yeah.
Guys, here's
High-tech
her
stuff.
potential list of vice presidential candidates. One is Kelly, that you Candy said.
Mark Kelly. Yep.
Josh Shapiro, that's one that Tom said.
Some
Andy
rando
Bashir.
dude that no one knew anything about Shapiro 2 weeks ago. Like he's the governor of Pennsylvania.
You know Andy Bashir?
Nobody had no one cared about these people at all. Like Mark Kelly, it's like great guy.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh my God! Please, I would love her.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Please make her
J.B. Pritzker.
Oh my God!
And Gavin.
Oh Jesus! I mean, seriously. I mean, I would love. Can we get someone on here to like defend these
rather
people?
sexist, and I don't mean it to, but I don't want a female vice president and a female president. I just
Why? Too much black woman power for you?
Yeah, man. You must be racist.
Strong black woman power, because that's going to be the rhetoric. I mean, watch me. Watch it. Watch my words be right. She's going to pick another black female.
Dude,
It's
Wolf
probably
Blitzer.
has
I,
no
w-
hair.
I was listening. Wolf Blitzer last night was like, man, it's gonna be a lot of sexist and racist rhetoric coming from the right now. Like, it hasn't even happened. And he's like, that's what we got. If you don't like Kamala Harris, it's because you're racist. It doesn't has nothing to do
Right,
with the
but
fact
it's
that she's
like
an
if
empty suit. It's the fact that you're racist.
yeah, and that's why I think like she's gonna pick another black female for the illusion of strong black female.
Or
You know what I
booty
mean?
juice.
Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, man. It's so
I think
bizarre.
Candy agrees, and she's definitely on that side of the aisle. She says it's going to be a white guy. I kind of think it will be too.
But why does
And
it matter race and sex of the person?
it doesn't, but they
Oh,
think
it does. No, it absolutely does for
well,
them. It
maybe they'll be
100%
gay.
does.
not to me though. I'm saying
No, to the
rational
Democrat Party,
humanity,
to the party, that's the currency of the realm. That's the coin of the realm. You
yeah,
have to, it's intersectionality.
the visual.
They have nothing to offer. They have nothing to talk about. It's all show, demagoguing, and name calling. It's all they got. It's like
Yeah, it's Biden saying I'm going to pick the best black woman for this Supreme Court
he
seat.
said that Biden, and a lot of people don't remember this, but before he picked Kamala Harris, he promised to pick a black woman as vice president. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
I want the
I mean,
best candidate.
is that
Silly.
really? I mean, seriously? I mean, I have nothing against. I mean, there's plenty of very intelligent, awesome, fantastic black women. It ain't Camille Harris, man. I mean, that's weak sauce. Like,
And
I mean,
picking them based on the fact that they're just a black
yeah,
woman
what the hell is that
is not,
supposed to be?
and I
That
don't
is
think that should be
ridiculous.
I don't think that should be celebrated. You need
It's
to get picked because of
pandering.
your yes, because of your like, intelligence or whatever. She was the fucking prosecutor for the state of California, which she helped run into the ground.
And she also imprisoned like
Millions of
hundreds and
tons of
thousands of
people
people for
I want to
for
say
marijuana
marijuana.
possession.
Yeah.
he's responsible for more people being imprisoned for marijuana than anybody in like history. That don't quote me on that, but I know that it was a very, very significant number. And now she's with the party that is cool with weed. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying she's an empty, she is a puppet for whoever is running
She
things.
said that she smoked it herself,
But that was her job, right? So.
not to smoke
Law,
marijuana.
rule.
Not to smoke marijuana and then imprison people for the very thing she did.
I just want someone to name what's the five, what's the one, what are one or two things that Kamala Harris has ever done in her entire life that qualifies her to be
Like,
president.
What is
I mean, just name
unencumbered, but
something,
what may be.
anything. I mean,
gonna run her on speaking up for abortion rights.
Ugh.
They like that she challenged Kavanaugh, falsely accusing him of raping somebody.
right.
Those are the two big ones, I think.
Yeah.
They'll run her out as like a law and order person
Yeah.
while they try to, box Trump in as the felon. So those three things would probably be the top.
Like 6 months ago, again, I'm old enough to remember back this past winter when the party was talking about how do we get rid of Kamala Harris and get a new VP in there to run with Biden? Do you guys remember that? I think it was like way back in like March, I think is when they were talking about that. Like a lot.
Really?
And so, oh yeah. Oh man, they were talking about a lot. Like, how do we get her out of here? We need to get someone else in here as VP. I mean, this is what they were talking about in the press openly. And now the
Can
same
you even
people are
do
like,
that? Is that a thing?
yeah, you don't have to run the same VP. They could
Oh,
pick the ticket.
I thought you meant like sitting, like while she was in
No,
office.
no. That they would
Okay.
take her off the ticket and put someone else in
Nominated.
as VP. They were seriously discussing that. I've never heard that in my entire life. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of this country. Maybe.
Her approval ratings are worse than Biden's.
And now Joe Biden is George Washington and Kamala Harris is the second coming of, the Virgin Mary. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, she's supposed to be fantastic now. They're going to shove her down everyone's throat. And in 2 weeks, it's going to be stinky, man. It's going to be stinky. They're going to be looking for someone else. I guarantee it. Because they have no integrity. They have nothing to run on. They have no points. They're a hollow party. They're all about power. They're not about leading.
2020, but That didn't matter.
I mean,
They'll win. I'm telling you, they're
I
dangerous.
they can still win, of course. Look, I'm not sitting here like saying, "Oh man, it's definitely not." No, I mean everyone needs to vote, but I mean they got a weak hand. I mean, if yeah, it's I don't see how it could set up any better.
They should not. Do we want to get to Cheatle, Desiree?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
let's talk about Miss Cheatle.
Miss Cheatle.
Chettle.
Cheatle.
chicklets.
Okay, so I took the pleasure
Took it for the team.
away from everybody by watching the congressional hearing with the director, former director now of the Secret Service on the events of July 13th. Now,
That was probably fun though. They were lambasting her, weren't they?
say that again.
That was probably fun because they were going after her, weren't they?
Oh, they were. I'd have cried.
You would
They
have
were being so mean. Like
Mean-
they were being so mean to her.
We just started talking about
Okay.
the hearing.
Now, I think also I have. So this is the second congressional hearing that I've taken the pleasure away from
Don's
all
my
the
favorite
people.
Cheatle, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
I said
No.
Don is my favorite Cheatle.
No,
I'm confused.
Let Desiree talk. I want to
This
hear.
is now this is the second time I've taken the pleasure away from all the folks and have watched the whole congressional hearing in their entirety. And I think I found my calling because the way that these members of these committees be talking to these folks, whew, they just shit talk them and then don't let them answer.
Right.
That's the job I need. I need that job. So how do I get that job? I need to start figuring out. Do I need to become a senator, a house, a member of the house? Okay, well that's what I need to start doing because
Oh no, you didn't, baby girl.
Run for state senator or the House in Kansas, and then work your way up to Congress. I think you'd be fantastic, Desiree. Seriously, I'm being serious.
I know a fair amount of people actually that were state of Kansas representatives for this Kansas State House of Representatives.
Yeah.
So I mean,
start there and then go to DC after one term.
I could do that. Maybe when I'm bored and old. And
I think you would be a
anymore.
phenom. I think you would be great.
Trump just went straight for president. I mean, you don't have to work your way up.
You don't have
I don't
to.
even want to be president. I just want to get on a committee so I can shit talk people to their face.
And then cut them off.
And then cut them off.
Reclaiming my time.
Don't even
reclaiming my time. I'm
listen,
reclaiming
I don't
my
care
time.
what you have to say. I'm going to say what I have to say, and you don't get to answer me, even though I want to hear your answer.
That's
if
a no.
If you didn't immediately start answering me, then fuck you.
Yes or no?
This is
You're
not
not
a
gonna
hard
filibuster
question.
me.
The answer is simple. Are you somebody? Literally, one of the people was like, "I mean, do you have dementia? You really can't remember this? This was 4 days ago."
What's her face? May said that she was like full of shit.
There's a lot of stuff. She just wouldn't answer like the basic questions.
Oh God, it's so tiresome.
Okay, but I did learn some things.
Yes.
So here's some things I learned. Okay, so hold on. Let me go back one step. So I also watched the majority of the House Committee on House Committee on Homeland Security hearing with the captain or the director person, the head person of the Pennsylvania State Police.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that was actually very enlightening. So we'll kind of talk a little bit about both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, Kimberly Cheatle answered 0 questions at this congressional hearing. Okay. When I say 0, I mean 0 questions. She came in there acting like she was going to be held accountable. No, she was deferring. She was deferring everything. She was like, well, I'm gonna have to defer that to the FBI because this is an ongoing criminal investigation. It's pretty much the answer she had for every question.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get that.
The guy's dead though.
But I mean, yeah, the guy's dead. This is not information we need to keep close to the chest. I mean, if you say maybe the timeline, okay, like maybe refer to that one, but the information as far as like they asked her how many casings were found on the roof. She couldn't answer that because she knew the answer, which she said she knew. but she can't divulge that information because there's an ongoing criminal investigation with the FBI.
You want to know,
As
No
soon
one
as-
cares.
Desiree, the thing that she said that was, and I watched maybe like 3 hours of it, like I had it kind of playing while I was doing
Yeah.
other stuff. The thing that she said that shocked me, I mean, literally shocked me the most, is when she admitted that she, as of yesterday, had not been to
Oh, yeah.
Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, can you put yourself in a situation where you're the head of the U.S. Secret Service? One of the leading candidates for president is shot, like blood is drawn, and you don't go there? Like,
You
I
don't
mean,
ask yourself. The question is not in
wouldn't you
your
go
head.
there and be like, I need to
I
see
need
it
to
for
go see it for
myself?
myself.
I'm
Where
gonna
the
go talk to
failure
a
occurred.
local. Yeah, I mean, to
They
me,
don't go
that
to the
showed
border.
that.
They don't go to Butler.
Well, that's because this was a setup and Trump had himself shot
Right.
again.
Now hold on. Let's talk about some stuff we learned from that hearing, which wasn't much, but there were some interesting things. Okay, number one, the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks or whatever his name is,
Three names.
all three names.
Three names. Yeah.
You can't trust a guy with three names,
No,
can
man.
Well,
Absolutely
now,
not.
I think they just do that now. If anybody does anything, Zeus Poseidon Allen.
Yeah.
Done.
Poseidon Allen. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so in a couple of days before, maybe the day before, the shooter used a drone to survey the area.
It was a couple of hours before, not days.
I don't know. I don't think the drone, even it was hours before, it was definitely like that morning when the shit wasn't like perimetered out.
Right.
So it would have been. So it was previous to the event. He used
Mhm.
that drone. Okay. So, which then I also learned, remember how we were talking last episode about the drones? Drones are a thing that the Secret Service do use from time to time. So that is a thing that they obviously didn't use during this event.
Why would you bother?
I don't know.
And
I
he was seen with a rangefinder. What was he gonna hit the Trump with a golf ball? No.
Well, no, hold on. So then we already know that there were explosives in the car. Now, what was said was there was explosives in the car, and then explosives were also found by a gas line. Now, what I'm unclear on is was the explosive put there, or was the car parked by a gas line that had the explosives? Either way, gas line was involved.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And a detonation device was found on his person.
Right.
And they said
When he was
that, and
shot.
I think they said that it would have functioned. I want to say I heard something about it
Well,
was.
At first, when this story was breaking or whatever, what they had said was they found the material in his car. It looked like a shoddy bomb, so that's why they weren't calling it a bomb. That's why they were calling it explosive material parts, bomb parts, or whatever, because it looked like that it probably was just like a shitty pipe bomb, basically, and it probably wasn't going to detonate. But who knows?
Well, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys know this, but I do have a medical background, and you can't set off a charge when a bullet has gone through your fucking head.
Yeah, I think that's one of the caveats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You hadn't considered that.
But I mean, Tom was saying last episode how he was like, I wonder what his plan was. So yeah, what was his plan? Was he like, I'm gonna shoot and then I'm gonna detonate, or like what? I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, what was he going for?
Yeah. Also, they still haven't really recovered a motive from this guy, from like the computer and the cell phone, but they did say that he had searched Joe Biden, the DNC, Donald Trump, and then some other senior congressional members, and also clinical depression on his cell phone. So that was interesting. So why would he? And like the dates of these rallies. So I almost wonder if maybe he was just trying to fucking out some dude in a big way. Maybe it really wasn't politically charged. Who knows? But they also said that his house that they searched was very clean. Like it was like almost a medical lab, how clean it was.
Wait, didn't he live with his parents?
Yeah, but does anyone live there?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Anyway, like there was no silverware up in that house.
one thing I did hear is that they have found 3 encrypted like social media accounts that he had that are like more international, not so much US
Yeah.
based.
So can we dig down on that? And I don't know the answer. What I heard that he had 3 encrypted somethings, like phone numbers, bank
So
accounts,
social
phones.
media.
You're saying it was social media accounts that were
They
Yeah,
encrypted?
just
that
said
doesn't,
accounts.
to me,
They
that
didn't say
doesn't,
what kind.
I
Oh,
mean,
bank
at this
account.
point, that doesn't mean anything to me. WhatsApp's an encrypted app. So is Slack. So is fucking um Signal. So is Discord. So is
Yeah, I don't
so
know
I
the
mean,
implications of that. Like, I don't know what they're getting
I
at.
have I have WhatsApp, Discord, and Slack on my phone too. So I mean,
Oh,
to
okay.
me, it doesn't mean anything right now, unless
Okay. That's good to know because I didn't know that. Yeah, they kept talking. I was like, is this for real or is
What
But
about the
WhatsApp is very
video?
helpful to actually speak with international people because that's why I have it on my phone.
Well, yeah. But did you guys see the video that Zeus shared?
I haven't had
The
a
one
chance to
where
watch
he
it yet.
screamed.
That's not him actually.
Oh, that was
I heard that was fake.
Oh,
Yeah.
What? There he's screaming what?
okay.
There was a video that they showed
That where he's someone screaming Crooks,
that
get
it
off
was
the roof or
supposed to have
whatever.
been him.
Oh,
No. It was a video of him
From-
well, they said it was him at a high school, and he was like screaming at some Republican
Oh,
kids. But apparently, that was fake news.
fake news. Fake news alert.
He had 3 overseas encrypted accounts. It doesn't say what kind of accounts. So yeah.
Yeah, so I
That's what I
don't think that
Okay.
that's just something that they say to make people talk. I think honestly, those are nothing burgers to me,
okay.
unless they put out what the fuck was said on them accounts.
Gotcha.
Uh, so one of the bigger things that was throughout the congressional hearing was the fact the difference between a suspicion and a threat. Did you guys
Like a
pick up on that?
suspicious person and an actual threat, like at
Yes.
an event.
Yes. So
Well, there's got to be tons of suspicious people.
many times, Kimberly Cheatle was like, I need to reiterate the fact that there is a difference between a suspicion and a threat.
Okay.
So,
Is
now-
an M16 threat?
was it what?
AR-15 is that a
I
threat?
didn't see that.
Well, they didn't see that. So, is a guy with a backpack a threat? No, that's not even a suspicion. A guy with a rangefinder, maybe
Suspicion.
suspicion, not a threat. They're not going to engage unless it's a threat. So, now we'll get to the rest of the stuff that's interesting a little later.
But
I'm just saying this is the very vague information that we did get from Kimberly Cheatle.
But just to interject real quick, from what I've heard though, that during events like these, that there are Secret Service, local police, whatever, that are kind of roving around. And when the eye in the sky, which I know they didn't have any aerial, but when people are spotted, there's certain officers are sent over to be like, hey, what's going on, man? What you got there? Like, and that never happened.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So, apparently there was a communication breakdown. And
Mistakes were made.
There was a communication breakdown. And I wasn't until I watched the House committee one that it was explained it more, but it was admitted there was a communication breakdown. She wouldn't really divulge the exact timeline, but the things that we did get out of it was approximately 25 minutes prior to the shooting was when the suspicion with the guy with the rangefinder was reported. Okay. Approximately 62 minutes prior to the shooting,
Wow.
a person was identified as suspicious. Okay.
Was it him or?
I'm assuming it was him. This was him.
Was there only one suspicious person?
Again, this is just the questions I know. There are questions, so many, but this is the only information that I could pull from.
He was the only suspicious person.
Yeah, it wasn't, but yeah. Yes, there was the Iranian threat thing. Apparently that was a thing. There was an Iranian threat prior to the rally, but at this time it is not. I mean, the Iranians didn't take credit for it, but that was true. Was more security offered based on a threat? Again, a threat is not an action. So the answer to that is no. But really, she really didn't give an answer to that series of questions either, because she really just kept saying everything that was requested was given for that rally. For the rally, everything that was requested was given. That was repeated several times. The grade of the roof, so the sloped roof situation, the grade of the roof
112
was measured to be ADA compliant, meaning it's the same grade as a fucking wheelchair ramp.
Oh,
Yep.
dear.
112 pitch.
Wait a minute.
So
Can we go back a second?
yeah,
She kept saying that everything that they requested was given.
for the rally.
Are you listening to the Trump campaign about what they need for security? She should know what they need for security.
Yes.
Let the campaign staff tell you how many people they need. How
Yeah.
would they-
No, it's a great
You're
point.
the expert. You tell them, no, you need more than that, actually. You need more people. We're going to give you more.
And
Well,
did they ask
hold
for
on.
Pat from Saturday Night Live to be one of the the Secret Service people?
So then one of the Congress persons asked a very interesting question. They were like, so have you had any previous security failures? Did you guys see this part?
Mm-mm.
Okay, they asked her about previous security failures,
Yeah.
and she was like, yes, I have. She talked about this one incident where I can't remember the guy's name to save the life of me, but it was some Congress member, I think, or some senior congressional person.
His house got broken into.
A house got broken into, yeah. And so she said that she was like, yes, that was a failure on my part, being the director of Secret Service.
Pelosi.
No, not Pelosi. That wasn't even
No.
brought up.
Was
Then
that the
there was
guy that they
another-
tried to kidnap?
I don't know.
No, I remember.
I don't know what they
this.
did in the house. I mean,
Yeah.
He got shot. And then there was somebody climbed over the fence of the White House. That was another one.
maybe that was I can't, like I said, I can't remember the other one that they talked about because I was so like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So this is now 3 security failures that she's had on her watch. I thought that was interesting.
If I made a med error, I'd be worrying about my job. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
If I killed 3 people, yeah, I would be definitely thinking I just need to resign.
Yeah.
So it was brought up the fact that there was that First Lady event on that day.
Yeah.
Very close proximity. Okay. So it was like some kind of like a tea. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like it was at a casino and there was like 400 people supposed to be there. Okay. The congressional hearing members had said, he was like, well, inherently a casino is already a little bit secure. They've got metal detectors. Well, I don't think they got metal detectors in the Kansas ones, even Pennsylvania, I don't know. But I mean, there is security there. There is a lot of cameras around. I mean, it's a fucking casino.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more secure than an open field. Okay. So why was the decision made that from the Pennsylvania field office allocated 12 members of the Secret Service to that, additional members, and only 3 additional members from the Pennsylvania Secret Service field office to Trump's rally?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then her answer to that was, again, everything that was requested for the rally was given. So,
But I'm with you, Desiree. Like, if I go into a hospital, I don't want the doctor to be like, well, you didn't tell me you wanted it. I'm like, I'm not the doctor. Like,
Yeah.
like Tom was saying, it's like the Secret Service should be running that show, should be
well,
dictating.
more on that in a second. But okay, so then really that's all I got from the thing. And then I read later today that she resigned. So I was like, well, that, considering literally everyone was like, you are terrible at your job, you should resign. Doesn't surprise me.
Not fired.
Oh no,
Yeah.
some
She
people
wasn't
were
fired.
like, or fired, like one of
Right.
the two.
But she wasn't fired. I mean, that's how horrible this administration is.
Well,
Like,
Joe
they
Biden
never
fucking doesn't even know who she is. So
Yeah.
how can he fire someone he don't know who it is?
Called her him.
Yeah. Kimberly Cheatle, who's that?
Actually, I heard that
You know
Joe.
what could have saved her job is if Joe Biden walked up and said, "You answered all the questions."
No, I heard that this
Answered
lady.
all the questions.
I heard that this lady had an in with Joe Biden. That's how she got the position. Was she was a friend of the family.
I don't
That's
know.
what
I
I
just know
heard.
he appointed
You're a friend of
her.
Jill.
But she answered all the questions.
He answered all the questions.
She answered none of the questions. She deferred all of those questions. So anyway, so then I'm like, okay, well, I'll watch
Neither
this.
did he.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So then I watched this House committee, whatever, on the House Committee on Homeland Security interview with like the state police guy.
Yeah.
His name was Colonel Paris. But so there was some interesting things that were elaborated on by that guy. So first of all, the communication breakdown. Okay. So it was revealed that the communication situation on the grounds was this. You had the Butler ESP. Wait, what'd they call him? Butler ESU. Butler ESU, which was like the municipal police, like the local police, community police, the cops. Then you had the state police, which is the troopers, the hypo, or not hypo, but state troop might shoot.
The real police. Yeah.
Not just
littering and smoking the reefer. The state police, state trooper.
Yes.
Wow.
And then you had the Secret Service. Those are the three entities that were law enforcement entities on the ground. Okay. Each law enforcement, the ESU, the PIP, Philadelphia, or PSP, that's what they're called. PSP and the Secret Service all have their own communication devices, radios, if you will, walkie-talkies. Okay, as all police forces do. Each one's on their own little, frequency.
Channel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody established a multiple, like a community channel for everyone.
Liaison of sorts.
So what, and I guess they just don't do that. So what they do is they set up a command post. In the command post, there is a representative from every law body there. So, well, not the ESU, because they had the state trooper as their representative in the command post. And then, so when information is relayed to the state trooper then is like right there standing next to the Secret Service guy, turns his head, tells him, and then relays the message however they see fit, I guess.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I feel like that's a waste of a person. Anyway.
So are you saying they didn't have a single? I thought they would always have like a single open channel.
Well,
If
you remember back to 9/11 and how everything was going down about that FirstNet.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was a hoax too.
FirstNet is a cell phone network basically that's created for first responders. So in events where they, like a tornado happens or like a hurricane or a fucking event with 20,000 people is occurring, basically your cell signal gets priority over everyone else's. Basically, is what it is. So instead of using that was set up by the government, they're still using, walkie-talkies and intermittent cells, I guess. So that's how messages were being delayed. Okay. There was that photo that was reported. Okay. That photo was reported approximately 25 minutes before. That was when he had the rangefinder. The officer sends a picture, sends the photo with his phone to the state trooper guy. I don't know how long it took to get to him. I mean, it's a event with several thousand people probably trying to use all the same cell tower. It could have taken a minute to get to that person. Do you have the same phone? Was it an iMessage? Who knows? Who knows how long it took to get the message? Did the guy check his phone immediately? I don't know. So then once he receives the photo, then he tells the guy, hey, look at this photo. This is this situation. Look, that guy, I'm assuming, which we don't know yet because we have to defer to the FBI's criminal investigation. We don't know. I'm guessing he radioed somebody, but then what was told to the state trooper at the command post was, hey, here's this phone number. Gives him a phone number. report that via this phone number. So again,
Very
whose phone
clunky.
number was that, and how long? Let's just say that phone number was the sniper's phone number. Who knows? But even that, how long did it take for this second report to get to whoever it was supposed to go to? I don't know, but it seems weird because I mean, sometimes I be listening to the police scanner because it's fun. There is private channels that, because you hear them say it all the time, shut this one down, go to channel B or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah.
Because they don't want people getting on the channel and hearing what you're talking about, because it's stuff that doesn't need to be heard by the public, basically. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Like, seems like you could create a similar little frequency for everyone to chat on. I don't know. But yeah, so there were 8 casings found on the roof. I don't know why Kimberly Cheatle couldn't answer that question and the state trooper guy did.
Yeah.
But anyway, very easily. I mean, he was like, yeah, there were 8 casings. Anyway, there was a lot of talk about the window. We'll get to that in a second, but there was the command post that was set up inside that building, right? Then there was a sniper team on the 2nd floor sniping out a window, right? Yeah, that was kind of adjacent to where he was standing, but they were still not building.
They would have seen him. Yeah.
Well, they would have seen where he was, but it really kind of sucked the whole vantage point of the whole thing, because you would have to like stick your head out of the window to see more of the area because of the way the window opened out, so it like really blocked the view. But they could have seen that guy like this. They could have had a vantage point of the shooter. Well, here's what's fucking fishy. So when it was reported that he was a threat with the rangefinder, then what was the guys that were at that sniping from the window, they were like they were like cops, right? Yeah, so they were told go look for the threat.
Well, but not a threat. The suspicion.
So they were like,
I heard that somebody did climb up and he turned around and shot it.
Yeah, this is a different thing. That guy was not the sniper guys that left the sniper place from the sniping from the window. They left their sniper window to go look for, with their eyes on the grounds, this guy that they can't find now that was suspicious. Find the guy. So they left. So hold on. They left the window where they had a very clear vantage point of this individual. They could have taken him out like that to go find him.
That seems very irresponsible.
That's when this shooting occurred.
When they went to look for him, and that's when the shooting happened.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that.
Who told you to go do that?
But why was Trump on the stage? Like,
again,
who
communication breakdown?
That?
Well, because when he took the threat, they were aware of the suspicion when he took the stage, but there was no determined threat at the time. It was a suspicious guy. Suspicion. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to.
I think we're going to hear a lot. There's going to be a lot more coming out about this.
So now these cops, cops at the window, again, what made them think we got to go look for the guy? Okay. Was it radioed to them? Were they actually told, hey, go look for the guy? Was it a miscommunication? Like maybe one of them should have went to help to look for the guy. I don't know.
Maybe they weren't doing anything. Maybe only one guy could look out the window at a time. So they were like, you know what? We got nothing to do. Let's go look for this guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did both of them go and not one? Like, were they actually told? Was it like hey, have all available people go look for the guy? And they're like, oh, well, I guess we're available. I don't know. Like, what's the words that was said? So that's under investigation.
What does he have to do to be deemed a threat?
That was asked of Kimberly Cheatle, and she couldn't really answer that.
You didn't know.
Have a gun, I guess. I don't know.
Shoot a gun.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to actually see a gun.
They're like, yep, he was definitely a threat.
So speaking of the gun, so it's thought that because you know how we were talking, like, how does a guy get with a gun? Just be walking, and no one's like, why are you walking with that gun?
Taken apart or something.
Yeah,
well,
well, an M16, you can break it in half and put it back together really quick.
what was said in this with the state police guy was the gun was hidden on the grounds. Maybe
So they didn't
prior.
survey the grounds.
Maybe the same day he brought that drone out, he hid that gun somewhere. I don't know. Maybe the gun was already on the fucking roof. Who knows? But it was hidden on the grounds when before the time.
Wow.
So that happened. That's cool. So if it was hidden on the grounds, it was either hidden in them trees, like I was saying, I was like, something's weird about those trees. Or it was hidden somewhere around that building that was convenient for him to just pick it up and climb. And so the building wasn't swept by the Secret Service like they had said. Or they did, and they shittily did that. I don't know.
Well, do they sweep? That was technically outside the perimeter. So do they sweep everything outside the perimeter?
They one of the first things that was came out is the Secret Service did sweep the building.
At what time?
I don't know.
And what's weird is they didn't find there was a map and it said gun is here and it had a big X right fucking boobs.
You don't have stick.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. That was crazy. Okay, sorry.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Okay. So just some interesting little tidbits that this Colonel Paris just suggested to the group, or just offered up to the group. Interesting that the road, you remember how we looked at the aerial map and there's like them trees in the water tower, and then that was like in the back corner of a road intersection.
Yeah.
Okay, that back road not closed.
Mm.
That
so
side road
just
not
driving
closed.
by constantly?
Driving by as they drive by, who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying. Road not closed. There was a area that, so I guess when they set up a perimeter, they actually put a fence around where their perimeter is.
What was it?
Huh? What are you talking about? The fence, like
fence? There was a fence you were talking about?
And what do you mean they couldn't get through it?
Remember they were trying to drive a car to smash through the fence?
But why were they doing that?
Because they couldn't open it.
But why were they trying to open it?
To get out.
To get to the other side. I don't know.
Well, I get that, but like, what was the need to open the
I
fence?
don't remember. They were trying to get all the way.
Point.
In the video, they got through and then they ran all the way to the other side. I think they were trying to get to where the shooter was.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but at the back perimeter of this, I mean, it's a movable fence. You literally could, like, the wind could blow it over. Like, I don't know why there needed to be a lock, to be a lock on there. A small child could be bowled through it. It ain't like a secure fence. Anyway, it might as well have been one of them orange chicken wire fences you'd be putting up on construction sites. Really.
Right.
So there was a small part, I guess, in that fencing that was like, okay, these fences have gaps. They're about something about this wide.
Wow.
The size of a person sideways could fit through.
Right.
So one of these congressmen's these congresswomen's, or I don't know who's on this committee, the House of Representatives member, I don't know. I guess her husband slipped through that fence and it was undetected. He was undetected.
Wow.
No one, he just boop right through. Walking like your own place, you know.
It gets more and more peculiar.
Wow.
So and I mean at the time no one even thought about it. He just was like, well, I'll just fucking swoop my ass in here. So the night before, there's decorators, they got the balloons, they got the signs, they got the woo, like banners or whatever they're doing to decorate. Why are any of these decorators unvetted?
Or why are they? Yeah.
Or why aren't they? Like, why aren't they vetted? Because you would think if you're putting balloons, confetti, banners, whatever, you could have had a bomb and a banner behind one under the rock and the rocks over there, I don't know. That seems a little suspicious.
That could be Trump being cheap and having volunteers. I mean,
the Secret Service is the one that's got to vet them.
Fair. Yeah. Well, they've dropped the ball all over this, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
There were other issues that were happening that day. That the ESU, so ESU stands for Emergency Services Unit, which isn't necessarily the cops, but it's like they were kind of all together. So like the cops and the EMS personnel were like grouped together, basically. But there were issues they were dealing with. So, and this maybe speak to the why they were on their own little frequency. The state troopers stayed on their frequency, and the Secret Service stay on their frequency, so everyone could deal with their separate problems. But again, why was there not like a community frequency? I don't know. But so the issues that were being dealt with at the time that this occurred, there were several heat strokes that occurred because, and again, this is outside of the perimeter. This is the very outer perimeter. So this is even before you get into the gates. Okay, these were the issues: heat strokes, several heat strokes because it's a hot day. There was a missing 6-year-old. And then there were 3 other suspicious characters.
Okay, so there were other ones.
Yeah, I don't know why they were suspicious, what they were doing. I don't know, but there were 3 other, so 4 total suspicious characters that were reported.
They were just walking around with swords.
Maybe.
The
I
Iranian.
don't know. So, another thing that wasn't on my little notes thingy that I found interesting that I heard right before I got on this podcast is one of the almost last people to speak at this House committee hearing was the actual like senator from, not senator, House of Rep,
Congress critter from Western Pennsylvania.
From that district. His hometown was Butler, Pennsylvania. Okay. What I'm saying is not Federline, whatever the fuck his name is.
He's a senator. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is a House representative member. So he was like, he got a phone call from somebody, and they were talking about the rally that was going to happen. They're like, oh yeah, this is where they've decided to have the rally, and he was like, oh, the Butler, like the farm, I don't know, what's it called, the farm show place.
Yeah.
You must be talking about the fairgrounds. And this other person was like, oh no, which I think he said it was like some other kind of, I don't know. But anyway, it was a person that knows shit. He was like, well, no, I do mean the farm show grounds. And he was like, that seems really odd because it's not really a piece of area that's going to accommodate a large amount of people. And the guy on the phone was like, oh, I mean, there's only going to be like 5,000 people there. And he's like, oh, well, okay. I mean, historically, no, there's like a lot of people show up. And the response was, maybe when he was a president, but he's not president anymore, so there's not going to be that many people there. There were 13,000 people there that day.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
So it was grossly underestimated the amount
almost
of
3
people
times
that were going to be there.
What was the area? What is Butler? Is Butler a Democratic area?
No, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. One more thing. There were 50 roofs. 50 rooftops that could be in line of sight from that podium that Donald Trump was on. 50 roofs. Why do we choose a piece of ground that has 50 rooftops available for people to snipe from? I don't know. That seems really odd to me. I mean, you can come to Kansas because we got lots of places that are big and open that don't got 50 rooftops just out in the open.
Just looking around, yeah.
But they can be hiding in the corn.
We got places that you can't even see a rooftop from anywhere you look. Yeah. So come to that spot.
But they get a tornado after it. I'm just saying.
There's enough space where you could run from that tornado and be fine. You'd see it coming. So,
well,
I don't know. It seems a little fishy now more than after I watched those hearings, I'm like, something seems a little bit off. Especially the fact that the shooting happened when those officers were told to go look for the guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, no, and again, like, how was he allowed out?
A lot of time to be able to look for the guy. I think for season.
I mean, the takeaway is this Crooks guy. He didn't have to do like Mission Impossible type stuff. I mean, he
No,
walked around with a rangefinder,
he did the
dopey
shit that
looking
like
dude, climbed up an AC unit, lollygagged on the roof, put the gun together, got into
shooting up a
position.
fucking
I mean,
He
I'm
was
like
just saying he
filmed. He
wasn't
was filmed.
he wasn't like Tom Cruise, like hovering down on wires. I
yeah,
mean,
he didn't like hide
he
in a
just
building
walked
for
in
two
there and
days and just
shot
like
him. I
pop
mean,
open the rooftop and like just yeah, it just seems like he did the most dumb obvious shit.
I don't know, man.
Is all of this, are we trying to say that the Secret Service purposely, how do you say it, that they didn't try
Or
to
they were
protect
I
Trump?
think that's possible. I mean, you gotta explore that possibility.
I think they really just got very complacent and
I'm
didn't think that this could happen or something because
There was
I mean it hasn't
negligence.
happened in a
Whether it was
while.
intentional, I don't know, but there was certainly negligence.
it was
There's very
so
much I
yeah,
mean the amount of failure just screams like complacency and just
the fact that
gross
it's even
negligence.
a possibility.
There were people that they were videoing him crawling across the roof, and I didn't hear the shots fired by the end of that video, so that leads me to believe that there was still a little bit of time
Yeah,
after
wasn't in
that.
position,
Could have been
yeah.
5 minutes, could have been 1 minute, but you
what
know,
was he doing? Why was he like hopping? Did you guys see the video of him?
I thought he was
He's like on his
kinda
stomach
low
and he's
pro.
like hopping and laying down, hopping and laying down. What
I
was he
think it
doing?
was. I think it was low.
I don't
pro.
know.
Yeah.
That wasn't crawling. He was like coming up off the ground and
Maybe
laying
he just
down.
doesn't know how to army crawl or something. I don't know.
I don't think he does either, or that, or the surface was like really hot.
Oh, maybe okay. So this
Yeah.
the rooftop has these like beams, so it's not flat completely.
Standing seam.
It's got these like beam things, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what he was like crawling
Oh,
over.
maybe he was hopping over those things.
Yeah,
Or like you said, Tom, maybe it was hot. It was a bright day.
and yeah,
Sun.
as a white
on
roof,
hot
He was wearing
a tin roof.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Another thing is how is that's a tin roof?
Yeah.
It's
You ever
metal.
been?
Yeah.
You ever been in a building that has a metal roof when it's like raining or something?
Be able to hear it. Yeah.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
How can they not hear something bouncing? Dun, dun,
Well,
dun,
I
dun
would
on the
assume that there
roof?
was probably a floor between where the police were and where he was. Because it sounded like they were on the bottom, which means there could have been a floor in between.
Or he could have waited every time there was like an applause. He would like jump.
Maybe.
Yeah, something tells me he wasn't even that organized.
He got all the way there. He just missed.
This
Yeah.
kid took a
That
rangefinder.
close.
Literally, the thing that you do is find ranges with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing this thing does. This tool is only meant to find ranges of distances.
Yeah.
That's his whole job. He's sitting there like finding ranges, finding distances. What are you doing that for?
Yeah. At bare minimum, somebody should have come out and go, WTF.
I think that suspicion needs to be elevated a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we need something between suspicion and threat.
Yeah.
Like something to
Suspicion,
get,
right?
because it seems like suspicion is like, oh, that guy's suspicious. All right, I'm gonna go eat this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's like, oh, this guy's a threat. Okay, lock and load. We need
Well, let me
something.
finish my sandwich.
You
We
know
need
what else
something
is
between
suspicious?
there.
A guy getting in his pocket to get a lighter for a cigarette and pulling a gun out.
Yeah.
Like that's suspicious too. I mean, everything is suspicious. I could think of so many things that are suspicious that are fucking not even anything.
But
Can I have one theory that this guy was sent from the future. So he knew exactly where he had to be to avoid detection because he had already. Anyway, that's all I
and
got.
he did this
It's
to
getting
gar-
late, guys. That's all I.
He did
I
this
mean,
to garner sympathy for Trump. He shot him only in the ear because he knew Trump was going to be turning at exactly that moment.
No, I'm not saying because of all these fishy situations that means it was a setup. I do believe in coincidences, quinky-dinks.
This
Yeah.
is
I think it very much could have been a coincidence that when they were told to go look for the guy, that's when he got on that roof, and that's just how it worked out.
comedy of errors. Yeah. It's certainly fishier now after
But it seems
Desiree's,
weird.
investigative journalism.
There's
Well,
going to be more come out. I mean, to quote Kimberly Cheatle, I mean, it's an ongoing FBI and criminal investigation.
If
So
we stop hearing about it, that's when it gets hinky.
Look, man, these are the same people that figured out who dropped that cocaine in the White House. So I am feeling really confident that we're going to get to the bottom of this.
True.
But they didn't find the.
Oh,
I
and
mean, we all know who it was.
If the fucking IRS can figure out what receipt I didn't include on my taxes,
All right.
we got ways to figure shit out about people.
80,000 of those agents. They just
Yeah.
don't have any.
And they're armed.
Exactly.
and they're armed. Well, listen, guys, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's getting to be about that time for this guy, at least.
We've been on for a while. I think it's
There
about
it is.
we wrap things up.
Okay, bye.